I have a question on ego. Right. So, usually in our day to day life, ego is playing a vital role. So, in terms of our personal life, in between relationships and your workplace, right? So, while taking decisions, in so many places, ego is placing a vital role. And on the other hand, what we are saying in the spiritual path is we have to zero down the ego, right? So both are like contrast. So I'm pretty confused. Do we need to really zero down the ego completely, or
No,
sometimes we are identifying with our
no,
title?
actually, okay, so it is a misconception it is a misunderstanding by many people who are in the spiritual journey. They say ego is bad, we need to zero on the ego. See, the disappearing of ego or the transformation of ego should happen naturally. But when you try to force it, it's going to bounce back and only frustration remains. So, zeroing the ego or letting go of the ego should not be the goal. Educating the ego should be the goal. We all have ego. Ego is there, to survive on the physical plane. You survive with the ego as a medium, right? Ego is all about, see, any concept in spirituality you have to understand from multi dimensions, from multiple viewpoints. Then you will have a comprehensive understanding. Okay, so what is ego? One viewpoint. What is ego? Ego is nothing but the identity. Identity as me, that I. Your identity in the physical body is ego. Your identity on the planet Earth when you are in the physical body is ego. Like whatever you think and feel about you is the ego. Right? So that is one point of view. And then simultaneously another point of understanding is ego is nothing but ignorance and arrogance. Because whatever you think about you, you are more than that. So you are ignorant about yourself. And then with that ignorance comes arrogance. So ego, in other words, is nothing but ignorance and arrogance. That is another point of view. Or let us take another point of view. Where you are in your workplace, okay, you meditate first thing in the morning, you meditate, and then you are like, okay, you are happy in your soul space. Okay, so then you go to the work, and then naturally, you are happy, bubbly, and you are doing your work. And then naturally, your colleagues might feel jealous about you. How come she's all happy and she's able to do all the work? So let us create some mischief or let us create some trouble. So they might start doing some political things or they might do something which may not be in alignment with your happy life. You might get irritated, you might get frustrated. So at that time, you cannot smile back at them and say, you are a soul, I am a soul, let us work together. You can speak like that, but they won't understand that language. Right? So at that time, you have to respond the way they understand. So that time, even though you know deep down you're a soul, but since you are in the office, you stick onto the office ethics. And then you shoot a mail at them and say, okay, no nonsense, stick on to the work. Right? So when you say no nonsense, who am I? Stick on to the work. So you are using your ego there in the workplace. You are deliberately using your ego. If somebody is trying to irritate you, you cannot say that, okay, I'm a soul, I'm a gentle soul, I'm in the process of emptying my ego. You can irritate more. I will try to be cool. And if you say that you are giving an open invitation for everybody to come and irritate you. So this way of understanding is deep down you know that you are pure consciousness, and deep down everybody is consciousness. But in that moment you are acting. This is a play. As Shakespeare said, the whole world is a stage. We do our part, we struct and fume, do our part and depart. So this is a grand understanding. So that means even though you are egoistic, but you are aware of your ego. So that liberates you. You are egoistic, right? No doubt you are egoistic. And ego is not something bad. Ego is needed to operate in the physical world, right? You need an identity. You need a certain energy to operate. So ego is not bad. ego is good on the physical world, but you have to balance it equally by remembering the truth that you are pure consciousness, you are more than that. The world is a drama. In the relationships also, right? The husband irritates the wife irritates the husband. Naturally, when they quarrel on the point, I am no less than you. This is the main quarrel of every husband wife. I am no less than you. Okay? So it's all an ego game. Relationships is a pure ego game. Especially the husband-wife relationship is a pure ego game. No husband wants to surrender to the wife, and no wife wants to surrender to the husband. But the husband says, I surrender to you because he needs the next meal. Yeah. The wife says, I surrender to you because she needs permission for shopping and holiday or to attend the retreats. So it's all an ego game. It's a pure game, right? So how do you balance it? Yeah, when it comes to fight happily. But when it comes to compromise, immediately compromise, knowing that the other person is helping in your journey. Okay, so that is how you balance life. So this is paradox. You need ego for your evolution. Remember this point. Very, very important point. It is only through ego you evolve. It is only through your ego you evolve in your soul evolution. But when it reaches a certain point where you are saturated in your evolution, so that moment, ego is no more serving your purpose. So that moment you drop the ego. So until you reach that moment, ego is necessary. Then how you handle the ego? Constantly educate the ego. So whenever you are feeling egoistic, you educate your ego. How do you educate the ego? Very simple. Remind yourself that you are acting out of ignorance and you are acting out of arrogance. That's all. So as long as you remind yourself, you are educating yourself. I have given you multiple viewpoints, and all these viewpoints put together, you will understand what ego is.
Yeah, got it. And also, awareness is a key to handle ego, and also the level of ego what we have, and we are not tied with the ego, but we are taking ego as a factor in terms of while playing the roles. So if we are aware about that, then I think that is.
When you are fighting, fight to the fullest. Okay. Don't think, don't look back. Fight, kick, do whatever you want. The next moment, once you finish the fight, the next moment you should be aware of it. You start with that. Okay. You start with that. So the response, you try to reduce the response time. Okay. You try to increase the reaction time. Okay. And reduce the response time. So then that means you are slowly educating the ego. And very naturally, the more and more you practice meditation, the more and more you practice mindfulness, very naturally you come out of all the limited understanding. So very naturally you will come out of all the false identities. Ego, in other words, means false identity. It's not your true identity, it's your false identity. So once your identity is false, all the actions you will be doing eventually will be false. And through that false, you'll be doing many mistakes, and through the mistakes, you'll learn many lessons.
Okay.
So that's why I said ego is very much necessary for your evolution. So remember this word. There is no need to empty the ego. There is no need to kill the ego. Just educate the ego. Now and then educate the ego. That's all.